Well, transportation is quite an interesting thing in Red Deer. People need to be able to move around the city in a variety of ways. Probably one of the weakest links that we have right now is our transit system, and the frequency of the transit system, some of the routes, and I think even the cost is getting a little high. So I think there's a lot of work we need to do around transit at the moment. Of course, the trails are great and people are using those, and there's been expansion in the park system. So the walkability is happening, and I think that's good. We also have some weakness around pedestrianism and its links to our bus system and our trail system, and the city's working on those.
Regarding transportation in Red Deer, I think the bike lane project was a mistake. I think the money could have been spent better improving current infrastructure, potholes. I think the city, regarding public transit, the buses, it's important that people can get around, but it's also important that they share the burden of the cost to run the public transit system.
There is infrastructure that is getting old, that needs to be looked after, but at the same time we have to look also at the future of the community in terms of transportation, and not only rely on vehicles, but also look on a more efficient way of using transit and transportation using different means, whether it's bicycling and whatnot. I walk to work, and I enjoy walking to work, and I think we have to look at.
I rode the bus system for the month of August just to test how user-friendly, how flexible our transit system was. I give it full marks from a timing perspective, from a service perspective, from the way it treats people with developmental disabilities, from the way it moves people to our major centers, to our shopping malls, to the hospitals, to the school system, etc. It's a fluid, efficient system that I think we can all be proud of.
I think we've done some really good work on mobility within our community in the last few years. How do we get around? What are our choices? We need to provide that choice. We also need to be thinking about the future. Where and how is our city going to grow, and how are we going to move within the city? If we continue to build the way we are today, we're going to end up exactly like Calgary and Edmonton with congestion problems. We need active transportation options to lead a healthier life in our community. I think having a choice is really important.
Red Deer has a beautiful city, and I think transportation issues are important. We need to enhance the transportation, make it accessible to the elderly, to those who don't have the money to buy a vehicle, and we need to encourage the citizens to use it.
Transportation. You might have a car, you might have a truck, you may not choose to have a vehicle. You bicycle, you walk, you take transit. For me, it's about having options and choices to having a good, sustainable transportation system for Red Deer. Yes, our bike lanes and bike routes were certainly an interesting conversation this past term, but it's a pilot project, and it's also about choice for citizens. I look forward to working with all our citizens so that you have choice on the transportation you choose to use to get around Red Deer.